Every morning, you're faced with a decision. A silent war waged in the dark between who you are and who you want to become. One voice whispers for the warmth, the comfort, the dream. The other demands you wake up and hunt it down. Just think about that for a second. With the sun still sleeping, you make a choice that echoes through every hour of your day. Do you surrender to the soft pull of the sheets, letting your potential drift away like a forgotten dream? Or do you plant your feet on the floor and declare that this day belongs to you? Most people lose that war before their eyes are even fully open. They don't see the true cost of their surrender. They bargain with themselves. Just 5 more minutes. But that negotiation is a trap. 5 minutes becomes 10. 10 becomes 20. And suddenly they are scrambling, a step behind, fighting a battle against a clock they've already allowed to defeat them. This isn't just a habit, my friend. It's a reflection of a mindset. It's the mindset of staying put, of accepting good enough, and it will keep you trapped in the same place day after day. Now, I know the pull of that comfort is real. The bed is an anchor in a quiet harbor. But listen to me. The men and women who shape the world, the ones who build legacies, they don't let comfort write their stories. They rise early, not because their beds are any less warm, but because their purpose burns hotter. The pre-dawn hours hold a unique kind of magic, a silent kingdom of clarity and focus, where you can build your armor for the day. It's a time when the world is quiet enough for you to finally hear yourself think. Today, I'm going to show you how to claim those hours, how to make them your secret weapon. Stay with me and I'll give you the keys to unlock a power you never knew you had. Let's begin. There is a certain magic that exists only in the early morning. A profound stillness settles over the world. The noise of life is turned down to a whisper, and the air itself feels charged with possibility. In these sacred hours before the chaos of the day is unleashed, you are gifted something incredibly rare in our modern world. Time that is completely and unapologetically yours. There are no notifications demanding your attention, no fires to put out, just a clean, quiet space to think, to create, to simply be. Most people completely miss this hidden advantage. They view the alarm clock as an enemy, a cruel interruption to their rest. But I want you to shift your perspective. I want you to see it as an invitation. The early morning is the one part of the day where you are truly in command. No one is asking anything of you. No emails are flooding your inbox. No responsibilities are pulling you in 100 different directions. It is a golden window of opportunity to get a head start while the rest of the world is still dreaming about their goals. Think about the way most people stumble into their day. The alarm shrieks, they grab their phone, and immediately they are drowning in a sea of other people's emergencies, opinions, and dramas. They start their day already in a state of reaction, overwhelmed before their feet even hit the floor. Now compare that to the person who rises before the sun, the one who takes a moment to breathe, to hydrate, to map out their most important goals for the day. Who do you think is truly steering their own ship? The answer is clear. Waking up early does more than just add hours to your day. It gives you authority. It lets you be the architect, not just the actor. Instead of waking up and feeling like you're already behind, you wake up and move with a quiet confidence. You get to decide what matters most, rather than letting the world's distractions make that decision for you. This is the fundamental difference between those who make meaningful progress and those who remain stuck running in circles. Then there's the pristine mental clarity that awaits you. Your mind, fresh from rest, is like an untouched canvas. It is the absolute peak time for deep thought, for solving complex problems, for sketching out the ideas that will define your future. Of course, just being awake isn't the victory. It's about how you use that sacred time. But when you do it right, the results are undeniable. Your days begin to feel more spacious, more focused, more yours. You stop simply enduring your life and start intentionally designing it. If you have never felt the power of an early morning, you are missing out on one of life's greatest unfair advantages. I challenge you, for just 1 week, wake up before the world. Step into the quiet, breathe it in and feel the stillness. You will feel it, the shift in power, the surge of control. And once you do, you will never want to give it back. So you've won the first battle against the sheets. What now? Waking up early is the start, but what you fill those hours with is what separates the amateur from the master. It's not about being awake, it's about being truly alive. Too many people claw their way out of bed early, only to squander that precious silent time scrolling through a glowing screen, lying there, letting the minutes bleed away into nothing. That's not the mission. The mission is to use your morning to forge your armor, to sharpen your mind, and to set the stage for a day of decisive victory. The most disciplined and successful people on this planet don't just wake up, they wake up for something. They have a battle plan. They execute routines that make them mentally tougher, physically stronger, and more prepared for whatever the day throws at them. They know a fundamental truth. The first hour dictates the next 23. If you start your day grounded in purpose, that momentum will carry you. But if you start in a storm of chaos, the rest of your day will be spent trying to find shelter. So how do you build a morning that builds you? It all comes down to a simple three-part blueprint. First, ignite your body. Second, fuel your mind. Third, architect your day. If you can conquer these three territories every morning, you will unlock a level of performance you didn't know you were capable of. It all begins with the physical machine. The first step is to awaken your body. Your body is an engine. If it sits cold, it stays sluggish. The single best way to start is with movement. It doesn't have to be a brutal workout. It can be stretching, a brisk walk, or yoga. Think of Muhammad Ali, one of the most dominant athletes who ever lived. His morning routine was non-negotiable, and it began with a run in the pre-dawn darkness. He knew that by training while his rivals slept, he was building more than just muscle. He was forging a psychological edge. It's about starting with a win, sending a powerful signal to your entire system that the day has begun. Even if you're not a champion boxer, you need that spark. Movement in the morning doesn't just wake up your body, it ignites your brain, enhancing your focus, memory, and mental acuity. The second step is to feed your mind. And I don't mean food. What you consume mentally in the first hour shapes your thoughts for the rest of the day. If you start by absorbing negative news or mindless social media feeds, you are filling your mind with junk food for the soul before you've even had breakfast. Instead, make a conscious choice to fuel your mind with something that elevates you. Look at Warren Buffett, a master investor whose empire was built on knowledge. He dedicates his morning hours to reading. He knows that the greatest investment he can ever make is in his own intellect. You don't need to read for hours. But imagine how much more formidable you'd be if you dedicated just 15 minutes every morning to absorbing something powerful, something that gives you an edge. If reading isn't your style, journaling is an equally potent tool. The act of writing down your thoughts, your ambitions, or your strategy for the day brings an incredible sense of order to the chaos in your head. The legendary inventor Thomas Edison kept meticulous journals, filling them with his observations and plans. His daily habit of putting his ideas on paper helped him organize his relentless creativity and stay focused on his next breakthrough. When you translate your thoughts into ink, they cease to be fleeting whispers. They become concrete objectives you can act upon. The third and final step is to architect your day with intention. Instead of letting your inbox dictate your priorities, take 5 minutes to decide what truly matters. What are the one or two things that, if you accomplish them today, will make the day a win? Look at Oprah Winfrey, a media titan who built an empire from the ground up. Before her day officially begins, she takes time for stillness and reflection, setting her intentions. She visualizes what she wants to create and then aligns her actions with that vision. She doesn't just let the day happen to her, she directs it. A clear plan is your shield against the endless distractions of the modern world. It's far too easy to get pulled into other people's agendas. But when you've set your own priorities first, you ensure you are always moving your own life forward. This three-part blueprint, igniting your body, fueling your mind, and architecting your day, is the key to a morning that serves you. It doesn't need to take hours. Even a focused 30 to 60 minutes dedicated to this practice will create a seismic shift in your life. The crucial element is consistency. The true power isn't felt in one day. It's felt over weeks and months as these small daily acts of discipline compound into a life of focus, productivity, and undeniable control. So tomorrow when you rise, don't just let the morning happen. Move your body, fuel your mind, set your plan, command your morning, and it will reward you with victory. Waking up early is more than a habit. It is a declaration. It's a statement that screams, I am in command of my time, and therefore I am in command of my life. It is so easy to hit that snooze button, to whisper to yourself, I'll start tomorrow. To wait for the perfect conditions that will never arrive. But here is a hard truth. The perfect moment is a myth. The only moment you truly have is right now. And if you want to build a life of any significance, you must train your mind to seize the moment, not make excuses for it. The real difference between those who rise with the sun and those who don't isn't their biology, it's their philosophy. Early risers don't see waking up as a sacrifice. They don't see it as a punishment. They see it as an advantage. They understand that rising early isn't about losing sleep. It's about gaining life. It's about seizing control of their day before the world has a chance to seize control of them. Look at the greatest leaders and creators throughout history. None of them waited for inspiration to strike or for conditions to be ideal. They forged discipline. They mastered their own minds because they understood that self-mastery is the foundation of all other victories. Consider Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple. His mornings were a sacred ritual. He would wake up, look in the mirror, and ask himself a brutally honest question. If today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? That single question acted as a filter, cutting through the noise and forcing him to focus only on what was essential. That is what waking early gives you. It gives you the space to take command of your thoughts, your energy, and your actions before the world tries to command them for you. It's a conscious decision to live intentionally, instead of just drifting through the motions. But here's the reality of the fight. Your mind will resist. It will tell you the bed is warm and the world is cold. It will whisper that 5 more minutes is a harmless indulgence. This is the moment most people break. They listen to the siren song of their feelings instead of the command of their discipline. They wait to feel motivated. But motivation is a fleeting, unreliable emotion. Discipline is what builds empires. Look at a man like Jocko Willink, a former Navy SEAL commander, whose life is a testament to extreme ownership. He is famous for his brutal 4:30 a.m. wake-up time. Why? Because he believes that discipline equals freedom. He doesn't get up that early because it feels good. He gets up that early because it makes him better. He knows that by the time the rest of the world is just starting to stir, he has already gained ground. He has already trained his body and mind. He has already set the terms for his day. That is the mindset of a warrior. But let's be clear, this level of discipline is not born. It is built. It starts with one small victory. The moment that alarm goes off, your mind presents you with a crossroads. Snooze or rise. In that 1 second, you are either reinforcing weakness or forging strength. Every single time you choose to get up, you cast a vote for the stronger version of yourself. Discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the more powerful it becomes, and the first rep of the day is the most important. That is why the military, elite athletes, and the highest achievers on the planet all place such a massive emphasis on a structured morning. They know that the way you handle the first battle of the day sets the standard for every battle that follows. But rising early isn't just about grinding and working. It's about carving out sacred time for yourself before the world starts making its demands on you. It's about creating a space to grow, to reflect, to become. Look at the magnificent Maya Angelou, one of the most powerful voices in literary history. She had a strict routine of waking before dawn and heading to a Spartan hotel room to write in absolute solitude. That quiet time wasn't just a habit. It was the fertile ground where her genius could take root and flourish. So I ask you, what life do you intend to build? Do you want one defined by reaction, by hitting snooze on your own potential? Or do you want to be the one in control, the one who rises with purpose and leads their life with intention? The good news is this: you don't have to be a morning person to win this fight. No one is. That title is earned. It's a habit that is forged in the fire of small daily decisions. It starts tomorrow morning. When that alarm sounds, choose discipline over comfort. It will be hard at first. Your body will protest. Your mind will bargain. But if you win that fight, if you prove to yourself that your will is stronger than your weakness, you will begin to rewire your very identity. You will start to see the morning not as a challenge to be endured, but as a territory to be conquered. And when you do that, everything changes. In a world that is screaming for your attention, a world of endless noise and constant demands, a moment of true silence is the rarest commodity of all. We wake up to an avalanche of notifications, messages, and emergencies that pull our minds in 1,000 directions before we've even had a chance to find our own center. But there is a window of time, a sacred space before the world awakens, where a profound quiet still exists. That time is the early morning, and hidden within it is one of your most powerful assets: solitude. Solitude in the morning isn't about being lonely. It's about creating the space to finally meet yourself, space to think clearly, to breathe deeply, to listen to that quiet inner voice that gets drowned out by the chaos of the day. When you rise while the world around you is still dark and silent, you step into a different reality, a reality where your thoughts are sharper, your focus is deeper, and your connection to what truly matters is stronger than ever. Many of history's most revolutionary minds used this morning. Solitude is their secret weapon. Albert Einstein, for instance, cherished his moments of quiet. He often took long solitary walks in the morning, letting his mind roam free to explore the very fabric of the universe. He famously said, "The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulate the creative mind." His ability to think without interruption led to breakthroughs that redefined human history. It's no accident that brilliant minds understood the power of stillness. Solitude gives you permission to step away from the crushing weight of other people's opinions and expectations, and to finally hear your own. What do you truly want? What are your most important priorities? What kind of life are you trying to build? These are the questions that can only be answered in the quiet. In our hyper-connected world, solitude has been tragically misunderstood. People confuse being alone with being lonely. They are not the same. Loneliness is a painful absence. Solitude is a powerful presence, the presence of your truest self. Look at Leonardo da Vinci, one of the most creatively expansive minds to have ever lived. He knew that solitude was essential for deep thinking and true discovery. He wrote, "If you are alone, you belong entirely to yourself. If you are accompanied by even one companion, you belong only half to yourself. In the quiet of the early morning, you belong entirely to yourself. There are no compromises, no interruptions, just pure, undiluted time to learn, to create, and to strategize." But this gift of morning solitude isn't reserved for geniuses and artists. It's for anyone who wants to take command of their life. Imagine waking up before the demands of your job, your family, and your responsibilities come crashing down, and having a stretch of time that is just for you. No rushing, no stress, just a quiet moment to sit with your own thoughts, to plan your day with clarity, to reconnect with your deepest goals. A morning like that changes everything. Consider the late, great Kobe Bryant, a legend whose Mamba mentality was forged in discipline and an obsessive drive for improvement. His mornings were sacred. Long before anyone else was awake, he was in the gym, the only sounds being the echo of the basketball and his own breathing. He understood that the early morning wasn't just a time to practice, it was a time to be completely present, alone with his ambitions, visualizing every victory. That solitude was his competitive advantage. Now, you don't need to be a world-class athlete to harness this power. Even just 15 minutes of quiet can radically alter your state of mind. In those moments, you can journal, meditate, or simply sit with your thoughts. You can center yourself, listen to your intuition, and remind yourself of your purpose before the world tries to convince you otherwise. But here is the challenge. Most people run from solitude. They fear being alone with their own thoughts. They fill every silent moment with a podcast, a video, or some other distraction, because sitting in silence feels uncomfortable. But that discomfort is where the growth is. Silence is where you confront your insecurities, your doubts, and your biggest dreams. It's where you find clarity. Even the most impactful leaders in history knew this. Mahatma Gandhi, a man who led a nonviolent movement that changed the course of a nation, began every single morning with a period of silent reflection. He would wake before dawn and sit in stillness before facing the immense challenges of his day. He knew that if he didn't anchor himself first, he would be unable to lead others. The same is true for you. If you don't claim time for yourself in the morning, the rest of the world will claim it for you. Your day will be a blur of other people's priorities, leaving you feeling drained and unfocused. But if you start with solitude, you start with power. So how do you begin? Start small. Wake up just 15 minutes earlier than you normally do. That's it. Just 15 minutes of silence. Resist the primal urge to grab your phone. Instead, take a deep breath and just exist in the moment. Write down whatever is on your mind. Go for a quiet walk and let your thoughts wander. Meditate or just sit in stillness, focusing on your breath. You don't need an elaborate ritual. You just need to give yourself the gift of a few quiet moments, time to think, to breathe, and to reconnect with who you are. In the end, morning solitude is not about isolation, it's about fortification. It's about building a foundation of inner peace and clarity before the storms of the day arrive. It's about stepping into your life not as someone reacting, but as someone leading. Success is not an accident, it's not a lottery ticket you happen to find, and it's not just raw talent. Success is the inevitable result of small, disciplined habits, repeated day after day with relentless consistency. And if you study the lives of the most accomplished people in any field, you will find one common thread that binds them all. They command their mornings with a structured routine. Morning rituals are not about frantically rushing to get a head start. They are about deliberately setting the tone, building unstoppable momentum, and seizing control of your day before the world tries to take it from you. A powerful morning routine doesn't just make you more productive. It trains your entire being for excellence. Think of Benjamin Franklin, one of America's most brilliant and versatile founding fathers. His morning routine was both simple and profound. The very first thing he did each day was ask himself a powerful question. What good shall I do this day? By setting a clear intention from the moment he woke up, he ensured his actions were guided by purpose. He then dedicated time to reading and planning, knowing that this preparation armed him to perform at his absolute best. His incredible success was not just a product of his genius, it was a product of his daily discipline. But Franklin was far from alone in this practice. The world's highest performers, from visionary CEOs to world champion athletes, all follow structured morning rituals that enable them to operate at the peak of their potential. Let's deconstruct the core habits that have propelled some of the most successful people in history to achieve the extraordinary. One of the most foundational rituals is waking up with immediate purpose. This means no snooze button. The moment the alarm sounds, they are up. That single decision may seem small, but it's a powerful declaration for the rest of the day. If you start your morning by compromising and delaying action, you're training yourself to do the same when faced with bigger challenges. Look at Howard Schultz, the visionary who built Starbucks into a global empire. He wakes up at 4:30 a.m. and immediately begins a strict routine of exercise and quiet reflection, all before his first cup of coffee. This structure provides him with clarity and focus long before he steps into the high-stakes world of corporate leadership. The next non-negotiable habit is physical movement. Successful people understand that your physical energy directly dictates your mental energy. If your body is dormant, your mind will be too. That's why so many of the world's greatest leaders prioritize exercise as the first order of business. For instance, during his time in the White House, Barack Obama made his morning workout an unbreakable appointment. He knew that to handle the immense pressure of the presidency, his body and mind had to be sharp. Whether it's an intense gym session or just 10 minutes of stretching, moving your body first thing wakes up your system and builds discipline. Another powerful ritual is deliberately feeding the mind. What you allow into your brain in the first hour sets the intellectual and emotional tone for the next 12. Top performers don't begin their day by mindlessly scrolling through social media or diving straight into the chaos of their inbox. They start by learning. Consider Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft. Every morning he carves out time to read and absorb knowledge from a wide range of subjects. He believes that continuous learning is essential for staying relevant and innovative. If one of the busiest and most successful people on the planet makes time to read every morning, so can you. But success is not just about output, it's also about inner balance. That's why many high achievers incorporate some form of mindfulness into their mornings, like meditation or journaling. Think of Mahatma Gandhi. Despite leading one of the most significant political movements in history, he never allowed the external chaos to disrupt his internal peace. Every morning, he practiced silence and reflection. He understood that if he didn't center himself first, he would be incapable of leading others with clarity and conviction. Finally, there's the practice of visualization and goal setting. Many top performers take time each morning to mentally rehearse their success and reaffirm their goals. Take Arnold Schwarzenegger. Long before he was a world champion bodybuilder, a Hollywood icon, or the governor of California, he was using the power of visualization. Every single morning, he would vividly picture himself achieving his most audacious goals. By repeatedly seeing his success in his mind's eye first, he trained his subconscious to relentlessly pursue the actions that would make it a reality. But here is the most important part. Your morning routine doesn't need to be a carbon copy of these examples. The goal isn't to imitate someone else's life, but to design a routine that empowers your own. The key is to create a morning that energizes you, focuses your mind, and sets you up for victory. A powerful morning routine can be built on a simple formula. Wake up with purpose, move your body, feed your mind, practice stillness, and plan your day. You don't have to implement everything at once. Start by choosing just one or two of these habits and commit to them. Over time, as you feel the benefits, your routine will naturally evolve. Success is not built in a single grand gesture. It's forged in the small, consistent, and intentional actions you take every single morning. Let's be honest. Waking up early sounds wonderful in theory. But when that alarm clock shrieks in the pitch-black morning, the real war begins. Your bed suddenly feels like the most comfortable place on earth. Your body feels like it's made of lead, and a seductive voice in your head whispers, "Just 5 more minutes." Before you know it, that negotiation with weakness has cost you 30 minutes, and your entire morning has been thrown into chaos. This is the moment that separates those who succeed from those who stay the same. It's the battle between your commitment and your comfort. The hard truth is that waking up early is not about setting an alarm. It's about redesigning your entire approach to your habits, your discipline, and your sleep. So many people tell themselves a story, "I'm just not a morning person." But that story is a lie. Nobody is born a morning person. It is not a personality trait you inherit. It is an identity you forge through conditioning. If you've spent a decade waking up late, of course your body is programmed for it. But like any program, it can be rewritten. The first and most common obstacle is that very phrase, "I'm not a morning person." This is one of the most disempowering beliefs you can hold. The reality is, it's a behavior, not a biological sentence. Look at someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's up at 4 a.m. every single day to train before the world has even considered waking up. Do you think he leaps out of bed filled with joy every morning? No. He does it because he has trained himself to be stronger than his excuses. He prioritizes his ambition over his comfort. Another huge barrier is staying up too late. You can't have it both ways. You can't burn the candle at both ends and expect to have a powerful morning. If you want to rise early, You must make sleep a priority. A perfect example of this is Apple CEO Tim Cook, who is famously up at 3:45 a.m. The secret to his morning success is his evening discipline. He goes to bed early. He understands that sleep is not a luxury. It is a high-performance tool. So many people sacrifice sleep thinking they're being more productive. But the opposite is true. Lack of sleep destroys your focus and decision-making. If you are serious about this, the first thing you must fix is your nighttime routine. Set a firm bedtime that allows for at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. This is non-negotiable. Instead of scrolling on your phone or watching another episode, begin a wind-down routine an hour before bed. Dim the lights, put away the screens, and read a physical book. Your body needs clear signals that it's time to prepare for rest. The more consistent your signals, the easier it becomes. Then there is the problem of waking up feeling groggy and exhausted. This is a real feeling, but it's also a trap. It's called sleep inertia, and it's completely normal. Even the most disciplined early risers feel a bit sluggish in those first few moments. The difference is they don't let that feeling dictate their actions. The trick is immediate movement. The second your alarm goes off, sit up. Put your feet on the floor. Drink a glass of water waiting on your nightstand. Do something that signals to your brain that sleep is over and the day has begun. Here's another incredibly effective strategy. Place your alarm clock across the room. If it's within arm's reach, the temptation to hit snooze is almost irresistible. But if you have to physically get out of your warm bed and walk across the cold floor to turn it off, you've already won half the battle. You're up. These small environmental changes can make a massive difference in your success rate. One of the most powerful yet overlooked obstacles is having no compelling reason to get up. If your morning is just a gateway to a day you're not excited about, your brain will fight to stay in the comfort of your dreams. You have to give yourself a reason. Look at Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group. He's up at 5 a.m., but he doesn't just jump into work. He starts his day with activities he loves, like exercising or spending time with his family. This creates a powerful pull, a motivation to get out of bed. If you're struggling, schedule something you genuinely enjoy for the first 30 minutes of your day. Make your morning something you look forward to. Another challenge is trying to change too much too soon. Many people fail because they try to go from an 8 a.m. wake-up to a 5 a.m. wake-up overnight. That's a shock to the system that is doomed to fail. Instead, start gradually. Wake up just 15 minutes earlier for 1 week. Then the next week, another 15. This slow, steady approach makes the transition manageable and sustainable. And finally, you must hold yourself accountable. If you know you struggle with self-discipline, enlist help. Tell a friend your goal. Use a habit tracking app. The more systems of accountability you build, the higher your chances of success. Waking up early is a testament to your discipline and your commitment to yourself. It's proof that you control your actions rather than letting your feelings control you. The war against the snooze button is won the night before, with the choices you make about your sleep, your environment, and your mindset. So what's really stopping you? Is it your biology, or is it the story you've been telling yourself? The good news is you have the power to write a new story. It begins with one choice: to stop making excuses and start making a change. The way you begin your day is like the first domino in a long line. The energy, focus, and intention with which you push that first one determines how all the others fall. A strong, purposeful morning creates a cascade of positive momentum that fuels success throughout your day. Conversely, a rushed, chaotic, and unintentional morning sets off a chain reaction of distraction, stress, and mediocrity. This is the ripple effect. One small, disciplined act in the morning leads to another and then another until your entire day is transformed. Imagine two people. The first one rolls out of bed, immediately grabs their phone, and spends 20 minutes mindlessly scrolling through a feed of negativity and comparison. They rush to get ready, already feeling behind schedule and anxious. The second person wakes up with intention, takes a moment to stretch and hydrate, and spends just 5 minutes clarifying their most important task for the day. Who do you think is better equipped to handle challenges, to be creative, and to lead effectively? One person is being pushed around by the day. The other is in the driver's seat. The ripple effect is a law of nature, and it works both ways. A powerful start can lead to a day of clarity, achievement, and fulfillment. But a weak start will almost certainly lead to a day of procrastination, frustration, and regret. The tiny decisions you make in that first hour, whether to rise immediately, whether to move your body, whether to set your intentions, these decisions send waves that shape the rest of your day, and ultimately the rest of your life. Look at Margaret Thatcher, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. She was known for being up at 5 a.m. every day. She used those quiet early hours to prepare, to read, and to think without interruption before stepping into the high-pressure arena of politics. That initial period of clarity gave her an unshakable confidence that rippled into every debate and every decision she made. This is why the most successful people are obsessed with their morning routines. They understand that a productive morning sets a powerful precedent. The focus you cultivate in the morning carries into your work. The calm you establish carries into your relationships. The discipline you demonstrate carries into your ability to make tough decisions. Consider the simple, seemingly trivial act of making your bed first thing in the morning. Admiral William H. McRaven, a former U.S. Navy SEAL, gave a famous speech about this very idea. He explained that if you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride and encourage you to do another task and another and another. It's not about the bed, it's about starting your day with a victory. The same principle applies to morning exercise. When you start your day with physical movement, you're not just waking up your body, you're setting yourself up for higher energy levels, sharper mental focus, and greater emotional resilience for hours to come. The celebrated novelist Haruki Murakami follows a strict morning routine that includes a long run. He believes this physical discipline is essential for clearing his mind and unlocking the creativity he needs to write his masterpieces. Even your mindset in the morning sends ripples throughout your day. If you start by complaining, checking negative news, or scrolling through social media, you are priming your brain for frustration and distraction. But if you start your day with a moment of gratitude, by visualizing a successful outcome, or by reading something inspiring, you are programming your brain for positivity and performance. The legendary poet Maya Angelou had a ritual of waking early to spend time in quiet solitude, reflecting and centering herself before she ever put pen to paper. This intentional, peaceful start allowed her to tap into the deep well of creativity that produced work that moved millions. When you start your day strong, you're not just doing it for yourself. The energy you bring to the world is contagious. A positive and intentional morning means you show up as a better version of yourself, a more patient parent, a more focused colleague, a more present friend. If you start your day in a storm of stress, you will spread that storm to others. If you start your day with purpose, you will inspire purpose in others. Think back to a morning where everything just went wrong. You overslept, you rushed, you spilled coffee on your shirt, and you felt irritated and off balance. Didn't the rest of the day seem to follow that same chaotic pattern? That's the ripple effect in action. Now imagine the opposite. You wake up on time, take a deep breath, and start your day with a clear plan. You feel calm, confident, and in control. That feeling of empowerment follows you into your meetings, your conversations, and the way you handle every challenge that comes your way. This is why consistency is everything. A strong morning routine doesn't just change one day, it compounds over time. When you stack one positive morning on top of another, you are building the foundation for a truly successful and fulfilling life. Look at Winston Churchill during World War II. His mornings were meticulously structured and focused. He would wake early to review strategies and prepare for the intense decisions that lay ahead. His ability to remain composed and lead a nation through its darkest hour was not an accident. It was the product of a day that began with order and control. You don't have to be a world leader to harness this power. The key is to be intentional. So I ask you, how do you begin your day? Is it by design, or is it by default? Do you create your own momentum, or do you wait for the world to push you around? The power is in your hands. Every single morning is a fresh opportunity to start a ripple effect of success. Start strong, and the rest of the day will have no choice but to follow. When you master your morning, you are on the path to mastering your life. Success isn't built in one glorious moment. It is built in the quiet, consistent, and powerful actions you take every single day. And it all begins the moment your eyes open. We have explored the undeniable power hidden in the pre-dawn hours. We've talked about how successful people use them as a secret weapon, and how small, consistent habits create a tidal wave of momentum that can transform your entire life. But at this point, the question is no longer why this matters. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Because all the knowledge in the world is useless until it is forged into action. It all comes down to a simple choice. Every morning, when that alarm goes off, you are standing at a crossroads. One path leads back to the comfort of your old habits. The other leads to the disciplined, powerful, and intentional version of yourself you were meant to become. You can continue to hit snooze on your own potential, or you can rise up and take command of your destiny. The people who achieve extraordinary things are not necessarily more talented or more lucky than anyone else. They are simply the ones who have mastered the art of winning that first battle of the day. They are the ones who make the hard choice when it would be easier to surrender. They are the ones who show up for themselves when no one is watching. And that person can be you. You don't need to completely reinvent your life by tomorrow morning. It starts with one small, decisive step. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. Replace the mindless phone scroll with 5 minutes of quiet reflection. Move your body. Set one single priority for your day. Give yourself a reason to rise with purpose. It will be a fight at first. Your mind will rebel. But as you push through that resistance day after day, something profound will begin to happen. Your identity will start to shift. What once felt like a chore will begin to feel like a privilege. You won't have to wake up early. You will want to, because you will feel the undeniable difference it makes in your focus, your energy, and your control over your own life. So I challenge you. I dare you. Give yourself just 7 days. For 1 week, commit to rising with intention. See how it transforms your mindset. See how it builds your self-respect. I promise you, if you truly commit to this, you will never look back. Because once you taste the power of a mastered morning, you will realize that the success you crave, the discipline you admire, and the growth you seek have been waiting for you all along. They are waiting for you in the quiet of tomorrow morning. Your time is now. Your journey begins today. Will you rise up and own it?